to Making Food Monday. Today I'm finally home in my own kitchen, although I have to admit, I didn't even realize today was Monday. I had nothing planned for today's Making Food Monday, so I kind of put things together really quick so that I could bring you guys something today because I didn't plan anything. I forgot today was Monday. So we got back from our big vacation that we took last week. For 2 weeks we were gone on vacation. I did 2 episodes of Camping Edition Making Food Mondays, and yesterday we got home at like midnight on Sunday night, and I forgot that today was Monday, so I just completely had no plan for today. So I dug something up, something I've been intending to do but I have not yet done. Today is a perfect day to try it out. I'm going to be making spaghetti squash. So for our recipe today, which is not really a recipe so much as an experiment, I've got a spaghetti squash, 2 spaghetti squashes, and I'm going to see if the pressure cooker really is that much faster than the oven. So today we're experimenting. Okay, now the squash that I'm putting in the oven is considerably larger than the squash I'm going to be making in the pressure cooker. It's considerably larger. So in order to give it the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to cut the oven squash in half and take the seeds out. But the other squash I'm not going to do that with. So if you've never opened a spaghetti squash, you need a knife with some edges on it. I find this is easier. I think of it kind of like a pumpkin carver. It's got these edges on it like you would have on a pumpkin carving tool. That makes it easier to go through this because the spaghetti squash skin is a lot like carving a pumpkin. So then you just kind of stick it in there and work your way around lengthwise on the squash, trying to keep it straight, although that is not always easy to do. There we go. And then once you get it open, you're going to take a spoon and just scrape all of the seeds and the hairy stuff from the inside, just like you would if you were carving a pumpkin. You're just going to take all that stuff out of there and make it pretty inside. Now, one thing you can do with these seeds is you can toast them or roast them just like a pumpkin seed, and they taste pretty similar. See? Getting all the yucky out of there. Okay, now for both of my squash halves that are going in the oven, I'm going to take a piece of foil and I'm going to place them face down on the foil. Make sure I've got it big enough. Pull it off of there. Wrap it around, making sure to keep it nice and tight so that the steam doesn't get too far away because you don't want your squash to dry out. The shell itself is going to keep most of the steam inside, but the foil is going to help kind of hold it in. Okay, now these 2 are going straight into my oven that I've already got preheated. I've got it heated to 375. I'm just going to grab the pan out of the oven. I'm going to place these 2 guys right on top, like I said, face down. And they're going to go into the oven. And I'm going to set that timer for 45 minutes. Okay, so that timer is for 45 minutes, and let's see if we can get this squash cooked without even cutting it open in less than 45 minutes. Think we can do it, guys? First thing I've got to do is plug in my pot. Got it. I remembered, yay, it's what 2 weeks of camping will do for you. And then I need to add about a cup of water in there. I've got my spaghetti squash just placed right on the bottom of my pot. You can also use a trivet, but I didn't want mine to be too tall, so I didn't put the trivet in there. It just makes it a little easier maybe to get out of the pot. It says you don't need it, so I'm not going to use it. So I'm just going to seal this up. I'm going to use my high pressure function, which is my chicken function, and I'm going to bring that down to 10 minutes. After these 10 minutes that this cooks, it has to come to pressure, do 10 minutes, and then I'm going to let it come down naturally so that that squash has time to soften. And let's see if it can come to pressure and come to pressure, count down 10 minutes, and naturally pressure release before the 45 minutes are up on our squash. It's down to 43 minutes because it took me a second to get this one caught up. But I still think this one is gonna be ready faster. I don't know, I'll have to see. Okay, for reference of time, the pin just sealed and we have not yet started counting down the time, but it's 37 minutes to go over here, so still a tight race. We'll see. Okay, the timer just went off, so now it is officially coming down. I'm going to leave it to come down naturally, and right now we have 26 more minutes until the big one is finished in the oven. I don't know, I think this one can probably come down faster than 26 minutes, but only time will tell. The timer is up, and the verdict is in. You got, oh, it fell! I can't believe it, I didn't even notice that it fell. The pin has dropped, and the timer is off. We have a tie, people! Let's see what we have inside. Hello, little spaghetti squash. Alright, let's see if they're soft, guys. Let's pull this one out. Stay out of the kitchen, baby. Okay,
Hi, everybody.
Okay, now these are hot, so you don't want to touch them very long, but you can see just pushing on it, it leaves an indentation, which means this one is soft. So after 45 minutes, the big one is cooked. Let's do the same thing over here. Ooh, this one's still firm, you guys. That's a little soft. Okay, so what we need to do with this one is pull it out, get it cut, and see if the inside is cooked as well as the one from the oven. Okay, now, to get this one out of here because it's hot, I'm just gonna take 2 forks, stab them in, pull this guy out, and place them over here in my bowl. Ta-da! This squash did not get cut, but as you can see, it split itself in the cooking process. So that's kind of interesting, but let's see if it's cooked inside. I'm gonna use that same split. I'm gonna cut it right here, just like I did the other one. Okay, and we'll just pull that open. That's really hot. And then I'll take my spoon and scrape that same stuff out of the middle, like I did in the other one. Once you get this cooled off enough that you can actually touch it without burning yourself, you're just gonna run your fork along the edges and kind of break that squash off of the shell. Now the one that I did in the pressure cooker is releasing from the shell really, really nicely, but it makes it a little bit harder to shred. So maybe that's something you should keep in mind. You see how when you shred it, it turns into like spaghetti noodles? That's why it's called a spaghetti squash. And I love them. They're a little bit sweet. They're a little bit, I don't know, buttery. I really like the flavor of a spaghetti squash. And they say that you can use spaghetti squash anywhere that you would use regular noodles. So if you like a pasta recipe and you want to get the carbs out of your diet, spaghetti squash is an excellent way to go about getting those carbs out, but keeping the pasta in. Just like that. And you end up with spaghetti. Well, I didn't have any plan for dinner, and then at the last minute threw together spaghetti squash. Let's see if everybody likes it. I've got it plated. Now all I need are my guinea pigs. Okay, do it.
Guinea pigs!
Oh, it's a backwards guinea pig. I see some guinea buns. Mia's here. Nano's here. Daddy's here.
Salty's here.
Wait, baby, are you coming? Come on, guinea pigs.
Come on, Grumpy Pants.
Who's not so sure?
Me.
Okay, Mia, you go first.
I know you'll like it.
That's the same sauce that you guys made for me, by the way. I mean, it's a different batch, but it's the same stuff. Bite it. There you go. What do you think? Good? Good dinner?
A little bit.
A little bit good? Okay. Ready? Have a taste.
Okay. Not bad.
It's okay?
Regular spaghetti.
It's regular spaghetti? Nice. Pretty good. Look at this one, chowing down.
Well,
Does it get at least one thumb? One thumb? Nice. Does it taste like regular spaghetti? A little bit different? What's different about it? What's different about this from regular spaghetti?
squash is on it.
Because I told you it was squash and it's smaller noodles. What if I told you I didn't give you any spaghetti squash? I just gave you small noodles.
You did.
Now what do you think?
What? You did?
Now what do you think?
I want real noodles.
Alright, Dad. Your turn.
Alright. Spaghetti squash, very disappointing. Al dente. I like it.
Caliente.
You ready to have a taste? Do it. That's not a spaghetti squash. Careful, don't choke on that. Good. Sideways thumbs. Thanks, baby. Okay, guys, my final thoughts. Spaghetti squash is a quick, easy standby. It's not super quick. Let me rephrase that. In the oven is about the same speed as in the pressure cooker. It doesn't shorten the length of time super short. The pin fell and I didn't notice that it had fallen, but I did check it about 5 minutes before that and it hadn't fallen yet. So it's within 5 minutes of each other. It's 45 minutes approximately from start to finish putting it in the pressure cooker, and it's approximately 45 minutes putting it in the oven. So it's not super fast putting it in the pressure cooker, but it was pretty easy. You just put the whole thing in. So I think having spaghetti squash as a replacement for noodles is an excellent idea. I also think that spaghetti squash in the oven is just as easy as pressure cooker spaghetti squash. However, it might cut 5 to 10 minutes off of your cooking time. If that's really important to you, you can do it faster. But it also depends on the size of your spaghetti squash. If you have a really big spaghetti squash, it's not gonna go in your pressure cooker anyways. You might as well just stick it in the oven. Dad, are we eating more spaghetti squash?
Yeah.
No. Yeah.
Who thought spaghetti squash was yummy?
Not
Did
me.
you?
I don't like it. I don't like the spicy one.
You didn't like the spicy ones? I thought it was yummy.
It's only and not yummy.
Oh, you don't know what you're missing.
Yes,
Spaghetti
it is.
squash is good.
Yeah, it is spaghetti squash is yucky.
Mia did not like it?
You know what is good? Spaghetti squash is good.
Yes.
No, noodles is good.
Noodles have too many carbs.
Yeah, too many
But
carbs.
the good news is you don't need to worry about that because you're a little tiny squirt. So you guys can have regular noodles. That's okay.
Yay.
Jordan can have spaghetti squash with me if he wants to, and you guys can eat regular noodles. Deal?
Finger says.
What the finger says.
And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to make this channel strong, share it with your friends. And now, good night, YouTube. See you tomato. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe now. Say